Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of this video. So in this part, what we're going to do is walk you through how to get the preset from my website onto your phone. So the very first step I'm going to show you guys is downloading an app called UNZIP. So what UNZIP does is that it helps you unzip zip files when you download it. I know that's a mouthful. So this is it right here. I've already downloaded it before, so hence why the iCloud icon. So I'm going to go ahead and click download again just to re-download it for you guys so you guys can see. So when we download the preset, it's going to be in a zip file, and we want to be able to unzip it right on our phone without having to go to our computer. So UNZIP is done downloading, and this is what it looks like. So we're just going to ignore that and go to my website. So when you get to Safari, you're going to type in Ral Onyes.com, and I know it popped up, but I'm still typing it anyway. So it's RALONYES.com. We're going to press go, and this is the mobile version of my website. It looks very different on a desktop as well, so it's up to you guys which one you like better, but that's not the point of this. The point is you're going to go to the right hand side where you have the 3 lines on top, and we're going to click on photography. So photography drop down menu, the very first drop down is called free Lightroom preset. We're going to click on free Lightroom preset, and we're going to get on the page. So this is the free Ral Onyes mobile preset. So this is painting, you know. By the way, guys, the names were inspired by like Nigerian slangs. So if you guys don't know what it means, it's just Nigerian slang. So a painting means like, you know, you're a pretty girl, you're like, you're a good looking person. So that's what the first preset is called. And the second one is called Way Body. If you know Burna Boy, you know where this name came from because I love me some Burna. So that was kind of my, honor or tribute, whatever you want to call it, to him. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. So these are the 2 presets. You guys can read up on the blog that I wrote explaining what they do. But the most important thing is click and download my free preset. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to bring us to this page. So it says enter your email to get access to the free Ral Onyes presets now. So what you need to do is enter your email on your country. So I made an email just for this video. Ral Onyes presets. I can't even type. Presets at gmail.com. Okay, and my country is Canada, and that's all you need for this page. You're gonna click download, and it's just gonna load up. So basically what it said is check your inbox. We've sent you a verification email with a confirmation link. In the event that this email blah blah blah, check your spam, open verification, open it, blah blah blah, yada yada. Click on the confirmation link, on the verification link, blah blah blah, and you're done. And that's pretty much what it says there. After you've entered your email, give it about 5 to 10 minutes for the email to come into your mailbox. And also, chances are it will not come into the inbox. So please, please, please check your spam folder. So see, it's there. It says Ral, I'm going to send you, yes, your new presets are here. So click on the exclamation mark, and then click on the 3 dots on the top of the right hand of the screen and click not spam. And it's going to move it from the spam folder into your inbox. So we're going to go to the primary, and it's now on your inbox. And you have to do this, otherwise it will not load and you will not be able to download the preset. So this is the preset email. So yes, your new presets are here. Hi love, thank you so much for downloading my presets. Get ready to elevate your IG feed, editing skills, and overall understanding of Lightroom. Before or after you download the presets, please watch the instructional video thoroughly to help you with how to unzip, install, and use my presets. And then it has a link for you to go directly to watch this video. Right now it has a generic link to my YouTube channel, but when I'm done, it's going to have the link to this actual video. Anyway, point of the story is you're going to click on download file, and you can open it with Chrome or Safari. I'm going to go ahead and open it with Safari. So now, this is so important because I had to figure this out myself. Right now, this is open under your Gmail. So no matter how many times you try to download this file, it will not download. I repeat, it will not download. So see where it says the little I guess compass clock thing on the very bottom right hand side of the tab? Please click there. When you click there, it's going to move the actual link into an actual Safari window. That is the only time that this will download. I repeat, make sure you click that little compass thing. Otherwise, you'll be there for 30 minutes and you will not be able to download the preset, please. Anyway, now it has it open in an actual Safari page. And what we're going to do is we're going to say continue on the website because we don't want to download or get Dropbox. You're going to X out view in app thing. And the three dots on the top right hand side, you're going to click on it and then you're going to click direct download. So the zip file is going to begin to download. I'm going to wait for it to finish downloading. Boom, it's done downloading. And now you want to go on open in UNZIP. So this is very important. That is why it was very important to download UNZIP before we started. Otherwise, you will not be able to open this zip file. You're going to click on open UNZIP. Would you like to unzip all your files? You're going to click OK. And UNZIP is going to go ahead and unzip it. Not now. And now you have those two files. You have painting preset and they have Weibo DA. I'm gonna first click on painting preset. And with painting preset, I have two versions, so don't get thrown off. I have painting 1.0 and then painting 2.0. There's just a slight difference. I couldn't decide, so I included both. So before you touch this, you're going to go ahead and go to your Lightroom. So tap in your Lightroom to pull up and make sure you're in an album. So right now I already pre-made an album and the name is Ral Onyes preset demo, and these are just some of the photos that some of you guys sent me to try the presets on. So I just open whatever album you have on your Lightroom and then go back to UNZIP. You're gonna click on painting. You're gonna click on painting 1.0. Okay, you're gonna say open in and you're gonna select Lightroom. And then just going to wait for it to import into Lightroom. So make sure, whatever you do, make sure you have an album open, like in Lightroom. See how I had the demo album, whatever, if it's all photos, whatever, just make sure an album is open so that it can actually import it successfully. And then the three dots on the right hand corner, you're going to click on that. And then you're going to click on create preset. And then we're going to name it Pang Tang. I want to change the P into capital, okay? And then done. And then just make sure tools, optics, geometry are not selected. It doesn't really matter. They're kind of deselected by default, so don't even worry about it. Just type it in. And then where it says preset group, you can choose if you want to put it under user presets or create new preset group. I'm going to create new preset group just because I have other presets that I've created over time, so I don't want it to confuse you guys. So I'm going to name it Ral Onyes. I can't even spell my name. Ral Onyes Presets. Okay? And then enter. And then it's going to save it into preset group Ral Onyes. And then just click the check mark. And boom, you've added that. Now you're going to go back again to this. You're going to go back, select Painting 2. Okay? You're going to open it. Again, find your Lightroom. Open in Lightroom. And again, we're going to wait for it to import. And this is the second one. And the beauty part of these files, they're DNG files, meaning they're literally like the edits that I did. So if you hold it down, you can see the before and then the after. Before, after. It's pretty cool. Anyway, you're going to tap on the three dots again. You're going to click on create preset. You're going to name it Pang Ting 2.0. Okay? And then preset group, you're going to select that. You're going to select the group that you made. And then check mark. And then Painting 2.0 has been added to your presets. You're going to go back to UNZIP. Back. And back. And then you're going to click on Weibo DA. And then there's only one for that. So you're going to select the DNG file. Again, you're going to open in. You're going to select Lightroom. Okay? And then it opens up in Lightroom. Just waiting for it to import. And, excuse me. anytime now. So this is Way Body, and this is my friend, my beautiful friend. Shout out to you for letting me use your photo for this, baby girl. I love you. Anyway, so again, if you push it down, you see the before, the after, the before, after. So you kind of see my edit. Again, click on the 3 points, create preset, and then you're going to title it Way Body A. And then select preset group. You're going to select the Ral Onyes preset, and then you're going to check mark, and boom, you have all of those presets on there. So now we're going to go back, just ignore that, and then instead of going to all photos, it's up to you, whatever album you created. I'm going to go to Ral Onyes preset demo, and these are the photos. So excuse me. So I have about 12 photos in here. I'm not going to edit every single one of them because they're going to be here 3 hours later. Let's do this one, okay? And this is one of my favorite photos of myself a long time ago when I had hair. Now I'm a bald girl. Anyway, so now I'm going to show you guys how to apply the preset. So straight off the bat, before you even apply the preset, what I usually recommend doing is cropping the photo. So you're going to click on crop, which is the third thing to your left, crop. And Instagram dimension is 4:5. So you're going to click 4:5. And then you're gonna move it around. I like to get the details. Like, I don't like to crop it so close to myself. I love my photos to tell a story. So make sure, if that's your style, make sure your photo tells a story. If not, you can crop it all the way to your face, but I'm not really a fan of that. Anyway, I like it the way it is right now. I'm gonna go check mark, and I've cropped the photo, so when I'm done editing it, it will fit on Instagram. Also, I like to crop it first because it gives me the vision that I'm going for. So now we're gonna go slide all the way to presets, okay? And I'm just going to select Ral Onyes presets, and when you select that, all of your presets come up in one place. So before I even proceed with this, I do have the paid version of Lightroom, meaning that there are some features that I'll be using or may be using that you may not have. So do not panic. So those features are like selective. I'll show you guys when I get there. If I do happen to need them, I will tell you, oh, by the way, this is a premium feature, so you may not see it on yours, so don't panic. Anyway, so these are the 3 presets. What I like to do when I'm using presets are I like to click through. So this, you kind of see the vibe it gives you, and then you try painting, you see the vibe it gives you, and then to try painting 2.0, you see the vibe it gives you. Me personally, I like painting for this photo. Okay, so the key to this is knowing the vision. Like, I feel like a lot of people start to edit their photos blindly. Make sure that you know what you're trying to do, because that way you're able to pick properly the preset that works for you. So click on painting, and I'm going to check off, and this is just the preset without any tweaks. So this is the before, this is the after, but of course I want to tweak it because I want to change some of the settings, okay? So first things first, I guess I'm going to go through them one by one so I don't confuse you guys. So light is the first. Don't touch auto because auto is going to change everything. So with light, the first thing first, it shows you exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, blacks. So you can start to tweak around and play around with those if you want. What I actually like to do is I go into color, which is the next one, and see where it says white balance. White balance can like make a huge difference when it comes to your presets. So what I like to do is there is a shot, which means exactly how the photo was taken. There is the auto, and then there's a custom. I like to go through them and see if it makes any difference. See how I said as shot, it made it more cooler rather than warm. I don't really like that. I go through it and I go to auto. Auto makes it ugh. Okay. And then I go back to custom. So at this point, I'm like, okay, the preset white balance works best. Sometimes your own actual photo, like the white balance from that is better than this. Better than the white balance on the preset, if that makes sense. Anyway, now I'm happy with that. So I go back to light and I adjust it. So if you want it a little bit lighter, for this, I'm going to make it just slightly lighter. And then contrast, I'm not really going to move around. But if you wanted it to be more contrasted, of course, you can move that around. And then highlight, the lower the highlight like number here, the more negative it is, the more things have definition and detail in your photo. So I think where it was before is fine. For the shadows, if you lift it to the positive, it will lighten up your photo. So if I darken it, you can see the difference. So I really want you guys to just play around with this because I cannot get in depth with every single thing on here. We'll be here forever, and it wouldn't be a preset. It will be like editing manually at this point. So anyways, the shadow that the preset came with was fine. So maybe you just lift it a little bit more just to be brighter. So this is the before, this is the after. And then the whites, it's plus 61. I like to just do this, and I'm like, okay, I like it brighter, and maybe just lift it up a little. There's nothing wrong with tweaking the preset, okay, to your liking. The blacks plus 50. I maybe do this. I'm like, okay, no, the plus 50 that it had was fine. And that's pretty much that. The curve, when you're using a preset, generally I advise not to touch the curve because whomever that created the preset actually took the time to make the curve. So don't play around with them unless you know how to. So just completely just ignore the curves for now. So light part is done. We're going to move on to color. Color, we already played around with the white balance. The temperature is fine to me. I don't want it any warmer. The more you go towards the right, towards the positive, the warmer it gets. If you go towards the negative, the blue tone, more blue tone it gets. So is it just up to you? Tint, again, the same thing. Everything has a color scheme. So just play around with it. I don't really care for changing those. Vibrance is plus 18. If you go higher, it's more orange. If you go, it's more desaturated. So I'm probably just going to do like plus 20. Just adjust it a little bit. And then saturation, a lot of people tend to put their saturation on the positive side. That's just going to make your photo look atrocious at that point. So you want to make sure you decrease your saturation and then increase vibrance. Again, this is not a manual tutorial. This is a preset tutorial. So I don't want to confuse you guys. So anyways, that's fine to me. Effects, texture will give you more definition to your photo. Clarity, dehaze, all of those things kind of makes your photo pop more. So if you feel like your photo is maybe a little blurry, you want it to sharpen up and like have a little punch, then you can increase the dehaze. But right now I have it at plus 6. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So I go ahead now to grain. So this preset painting, I added a lot of grain to it because I wanted it to feel like those Instagram blogger type preset. Now, if you're not a fan of grain, you can literally take it all the way out to 0 and your photo will have no grain. If you're a fan, but you're not too much of a fan, maybe you can lift it to about a 25. And then that's usually like a sweet spot for grain if you're, like in between. So we're just gonna lift it to about a 25 instead of the 40 that it was before. Leave the rest as is. Okay, so for split toning, I would suggest if you're a beginner, don't even play around with it. Basically, this is what gives the overall look, like a warmer tone look or a bluer look. Don't even worry about it. Just leave it as is for this preset. And then for detail, sharpening, again, if you want it more sharper, you can go higher. I'm kind of okay with the 70 that the preset came with. Masking, again, the higher you go, the more it sharpens certain lines in the photo. Just leave it as is. We're not really going to touch it. Now, noise reduction is up to your photo and how your photo is taking. So if your photo is taking more so, what do you call it? If your photo was taking and it has grains in it, like noise, maybe it was taken on a low light, you can use noise reduction to kind of take away the noise a little bit. So for this, I'm probably just going to raise it to about an 11, maybe a 10. And that's it because I don't think this photo needs a lot of noise reduction. And then for color reduction, again, this is like reducing grains but in color. So let's say you're seeing orange but you're seeing a lot of grainy orange in your photo, you can increase that or decrease that or whatever. But for this, the preset has it at 5. I'm fine with that one. So for optics, optics is kind of like it removes distortion and any mistake that your camera made while it was trying to take your photo. So for this, generally, don't worry too much about it. But if you were to enable it, I think you maybe may see the difference. Okay, yeah. So watch my photo closely. If I enable it, the photo comes up a little. It's like almost like what do you call it? The lenses are fixed, like the distortion or fix. That's what it does. Okay, so for geometry, this you will not see if you have the free version of Lightroom, so do not freak out. This is a premium feature. So basically in geometry, you're basically fixing distortion, you're straightening your photo. So if your photo was like crooked, you're gonna click on auto, and it's just gonna straighten it up a little bit. Don't worry about it, honestly. If you're not willing to pay for Lightroom, you're gonna be fine, girl. You're gonna be fine, unless you're willing to kind of explore some more. Then by all means, I love it personally, because some photos you take it and it's kind of crooked, so this helps. Now, the next two settings that are premium are the healing tool, which I do not use in Lightroom, to be honest with you. If I want to take off pimple off my face, I do it on Facetune before I put it on Instagram in Lightroom. Selective, though, I do use quite a bit, and that's a premium feature. And this feature I love so much. So this is able to give you control of your photos and some parts of your photos. So let's say, for example, I edited this, or I applied the preset and everything looks fabulous, but then my face looks too dark. So what I do, let me just click on it again. So I click on selective, and then I click on the plus sign, and then the middle one would give me what you call a radial filter. So with the radial filter, all I gotta do is just pull on my face. So the bigger you pull, the bigger the circle. So let's say, for example, my face was a little bit too dark compared to the rest of my edit. I just pull on that, and then to the left, all the toolbars, the third one, the one with like the blur thing, if you click on that, the red indication disappears, because that's pretty much telling you what part of your face you've selected. So with this, I can go into light, and then pretty much what we did in the beginning with the light and the shadows and all that stuff, you can literally just go into this and fix that. So let's say, for example, you wanted to make your face brighter. See, like you can see that if I wanted to make it darker, brighter, whatever the case may be. So it's just controlling just that part, nothing else, okay? So for that, I maybe want to just brighten, just raise the shadows a little bit, and then raise the black just a slight bit. And then for exposure, just raise it. Okay, so for exposure, we're going to just raise it a very slight bit, maybe to a 3. And then I'm going to pull back the shadows, because I don't want my face to be abnormally too light. And pull down the blacks a little bit, maybe even to a -2. Again, with this, honestly, don't watch what I'm doing and penalize yourself because you're trying to get it to +2 or -2 like I am doing. Play around with it. I really, really want you guys to just have a good time and play around. What I used to do, a pro tip, what I used to do when I got into Lightroom and I was kind of testing out other people's presets, I would screenshot, like, see how we apply painting? I would screenshot all of the settings, and then I have it in my camera roll. And then I'm going to experiment. I move around the color things, I don't know what they're called, and if I, for lack of a better word, if I fuck it up, I'm like, oh crap. I go back to my camera roll, and then I see all the screenshots of everything that I did, and I just return them exactly how they're supposed to be, and then I get my photo looking normal again. So if you don't experiment, I promise you, you will not learn Lightroom. So don't be scared of the presets, okay? Experiment, change it up, make it your own. You know what I mean? Presets are supposed to be a stepping stone for you to create an amazing edits. Anyway, I'm gonna check off the mark, and now we're set. Now we're good. And this was kind of a neat edit. You didn't have to change a lot of the colors. So now we're gonna go back into the album. We're gonna try to find something that requires color change. Okay, so we're gonna take this, okay? So let's say, for example, again, this is one of my beautiful followers, subscriber, friend, you name it. I love this girl. Thank you so much for sending in your photo for me to use. So for this, let's say you took a photo and it's kind of a weird, what do you call it, measure, and you cannot crop it for Instagram. What I have done and what I've realized is you go to crop, and then you select custom. Okay, and mind you, Instagram crop is 4:5, so you just literally just push this to kind of mimic a 4:5. Once it's close to mimicking a 4:5, go to custom again. You'll see 4:5 will appear because you've changed the dimension of the photo. So now you can readjust it to actual 4:5. So I move it because again, like I said, I like my photos to tell a story. So the flower pots in the background, I want it to come out and kind of tell a story. And then boom, and then we're going to go to preset. I feel like painting. I'm loving painting. It's kind of like that vibe. Honestly, I love painting so much, guys. That's my favorite thing in the world. Painting 2.0 is good too. So now you guys can kind of see the difference, why I couldn't decide. Painting 2.0 is a little lighter, and painting by itself is a little darker. So for this, we're going to choose painting 2.0 just for demonstration's sake. And then we're going to click OK. So again, if you guys remember, I said before we start going through everything, go into color and then play around with the white balance, okay? And then we're going to do auto, okay? If you like that, cool. But I like the custom, so we're going to stick to custom. So we're going to go to light. What I would do for this is brighten it just a little bit. Just raise the exposure just a little bit. And after you raise the exposure, the rest of the stuff, honestly, I would leave as is. Oops, okay. Undo. Again, if you move this by accident, just press the undo button at the top and you will undo whatever your finger moves, because, you know, I have fat fingers, so half of the time it just moves things when I don't want it to move things. Again, the curve, don't worry too much about it. And then for the color, I'm gonna go in, if you want to like more vibrant, right now is at 18, maybe you want to raise it to be a little bit more orangey. Okay, so see, now the overall photo is looking, you know, very orange, you know, very vibrant. So it's before, after. And then again, like I said, saturation, always lower your saturation so that you can increase your vibrance, so that way your photo does not look over edited or like overly saturated. Okay, so now we have raised the saturation of the photo. However, our skin is kind of suffering as a result. So the reason why I said this and I picked this is when you scroll up where it says mix on the top right, you're going to select that little rainbow circle. Okay, so when you select this, two things you want to play around with whenever you're working on any preset, if you want to play around with colors, is the red and the orange. Those two affect your skin, especially as a melanin person, okay? Melaninated person, as a dark skinned beauty. Red and oranges in a photo will affect how your skin looks. So the red, not so much, but the orange for sure. So if right now orange saturation is at plus 32, if I decrease it, see how gray she starts to look? And then I increase it back, she starts to look lively. So instead of taking it to plus 32, which is going to oversaturate the entire photo, we're going to take it down to maybe like about a 20. So it gives her a natural glow, but it doesn't make her look orange, okay? So that's the first thing I like to adjust if I raise vibrance as a woman of color, as a melanin woman. When you raise vibrance, decrease the orange so your skin does not suffer as a result. Again, you can go through all these colors. Again, like I said, screenshot these settings so if you mess it up, you're able to go back to what the preset had. And the best way I would advise you guys to move around the saturation. So right now, the saturation for the yellow is negative 83. So just move it around. See, if I moved it all the way here, see how the photo changes? So literally just move it. If you like that, if that's your vibe, move it. Play around with it. Be comfortable with it. But I'm going to go back to 83 because I like it at 83. Now, the rest of the colors in the photos, you can see maybe or maybe not, they're not present. Another thing that is present is a green, so you can click on the green tab. When you look behind her head, there's like a little green there's a little green tree peeking through. So literally, again, saturation, I decreased that all the way to negative 100. If you increase it, you can see that behind her getting greener. If that's your vibe, baby girl, baby boy, do you. If not, just pull it back down. Now I'm okay with this photo. There's really nothing other, no other color present in that. The difference between Pangton 1.0 and Pangton 2.0 is that Pangton 2.0, which is this one that we're using right now, has a grain of 25, which is the sweet spot. So again, the roughness is kind of like how rough you want the grains. The size is if you want the grains big or small. To be honest with you, if you're new to Lightroom, you probably will not notice the difference, I promise you. So don't even worry about that. Texture, again, you guys know texture, clarity, and dehaze, they all add texture and deepen stuff. If that's your vibe, by all means. So, but for this, I like it at 6. Texture, if you increase texture, It makes it like that. I don't even know how to explain it. It just makes it more sharp, if that makes sense. But anyways, we're gonna just decrease texture to about a 10. No, maybe let's lift it to about a 20. Why not? Why not? Split toning, like I said, don't worry too much about split toning, especially if you're trying to get a hang of Lightroom. All right, so for sharpening, you can change it if you want. For this, I believe it's fine. It does not, you don't need to increase or decrease it, but it depends on your picture and the composition in your photo. And that's pretty much that. And with noise reduction, if you like right now is at 5, if you increase it all the way, what it does is, like, I don't know if you know, like those plasticky type edits that just see how see how her face looks. Yeah, that is not attractive at all. So you want to decrease it and just return it back to the 5 that I put it. Sometimes your photo may need more than 5, maybe like around a 10, 15, maybe 20 max. Don't, please do not go over like 25 because you're going to look plasticky by the time you're done. Maybe like 30. Yeah, 30. I feel like 35 is pushing it. But yeah, honestly, just gauge your photo. Zoom in if you have to look at it. Just know the functions and what these things do. So that's pretty much it for the photo before after. Before after. Now, again, like I said, I love me some selective tools. So I'm going again with the selective plus sign. The second one, I'm going to draw a radial filter on her face. And then I'm going to go to light. And I just want to increase it a little bit, just increase the shadows. So when you increase the shadow, you're brightening the face, or you're brightening wherever you're doing it to, without overexposing like the rest of the photo. So if you increase shadows are just lifting the blacks and the darker parts of the photo, instead of just like where exposure lifts like the entire photo, and we don't want that. So exposure, so lift your shadows first. I'm just trying to get this to 0. Okay, lift your shadows first and lift your blacks first anytime that you feel like a photo is dark and you want to brighten it. Don't ever go to exposure first. Lift shadows and blacks, and then when you feel like you've lifted them enough, then go to exposure, maybe just add a little. Okay, so pretty much that's really all I wanted to do to her face. Maybe a little contrast, just maybe like a 3, just to make her face pop a little bit. And that's pretty much it for this one, and we're done this edit. And again, like I said, this, if I edit every single photo here, we're going to be here forever. I just wanted to quickly, before I want to edit this one with Weibo DA. But before I do that, I just want to show you guys. So this was one of the photos that one of y'all sent me. Thank you so much for sending it. I love you, girl. So let's say, for example, this was your photo, yeah, and you're so excited because you got a new preset. You go to your preset, and then you put painting on it, and you're like, whoa there, what's happening? You put Weibo DA, and you're like, oh my god, what is happening? So first things first, what I would do to this photo, I'll probably choose Weibo DA over any of these, just because I feel like Weibo DA gives it more color. So I'm going to choose it. And again, do not freak out if your photo is like this when you apply the, what do you call it? The preset. First things first, you guys already know the flow. Color, white balance, go as shot. See how that changes it slightly? Go auto. Auto even made it a little bit better. So see, custom was, they're quite up there, TBH. I personally like auto, okay? So I'm going to do auto if I was editing this photo. Or if I was the owner of this photo and I was trying to edit it. Do auto. And then the next thing you do is you go to light. And the first thing, because the shadows are raised because we're trying to make photos brighter. Now this is way too bright. First thing I would do is, okay, undo. That was not what I was trying to do. First thing I would do is lower my shadow, okay? I lower my shadow, I lower my blacks. And then I go to exposure at plus 15. I play around with my exposure, so if I lower a little bit more, I'm kind of getting detail back into the photo. And then I go to highlight. Highlight is already all the way to 100, so I don't need to lower any further. So right now I can probably lower exposure just a little bit more, okay? So now her skin is looking yellow. You might be like, oh my god, this preset is just not working for me. Next thing, remember, I'm going to go to color, And remember, you want to decrease the saturation if you want to increase the vibrance. So I'm going to go ahead and just decrease the saturation so her skin is not looking super orange anymore. And then just increase the vibrance very slightly, okay? And then I'm going to go to mix, which is the color mix. And remember, reds and oranges affect the skin. So right now we feel like, oh, maybe she's looking a little too orange from before or whatever. You're going to click on orange, okay? Right now is at plus 11. You're going to decrease it a little bit. Again, you can play with it. If you go all the way here, then she's looking very deadly. So just increase it to the point where she looks like, you know, her skin tone but glowy. So I think okay, let's do maybe like a 7. Cool. All right, so I don't even want to touch the reds. The greens, if you're a green person right now, it's on negative 36 for saturation. If you want to play around with it, if you want more greens, less greens, it's up to you. For me personally, I think maybe even less green will be great. Okay, so again, like I said, you want to intentionally edit your photo. Just don't feel intimidated and be moving all over the place. For this, next thing I will probably do to fix it would be to go under effects, and the dehaze for Weibo DA is at 14, so it's quite high. So as you can see, like her photo looks a little bit more contrasted than it was before. So if you go to before, after. So what I would do is probably lower the dehaze to maybe like a 4, and then lower the clarity to maybe like a 3, and then the texture to maybe like 0. So whenever you feel like your photos are a little bit on the contrasted side, texture, clarity, dehaze will give you a good start to fixing that. So see, now before it was kind of like overexposed, now we're kind of getting somewhere, okay? So with this, I'll probably leave this here and then crop again, because I like my photos to tell a story. Varsity Hall was in the background, so I want that to tell the story. So maybe there, that will be the crop that I would do. And I'll be like, okay, cool, her face. Honestly, I love selective tools for the face. Like, it's my favorite thing to use. Again, I'm just going to do a radial under radial. I can never say it right. Press the third one to the left to deselect. Go to light and just increase the shadows, because remember when we're decreasing the shadow because we're trying to save the overexposed photo. So now you can increase the shadow just around the face and the neck area, and then maybe increase the blacks just a little bit, not too much. Decrease. Okay, and then now it goes from before, after. So you did not lose the face from, you know, trying to darken everything. So right now I feel like I'm pretty happy with it. And I'll probably leave it here. So and remember how it was before. So I'm just gonna save this to camera roll actually. Okay, so remember this is what it is right now, and then I'm gonna reset it. Okay, all of the adjustments, and then I'm gonna apply Weibo for the first time. So this is what it was for the first time. I'm gonna go up and pull the photo and show you guys what it was after. So when we just applied Weibo preset, when we tweaked Weibo preset, okay? So don't panic when you apply a preset and you see it look like this and you're like, whoa, this preset does not work with my photo. Tweak it, think, edit intentionally, and you're gonna end up with a beautiful edit like that. And boom, that's pretty much that for that one. All right, and then I'm just gonna select one more. I feel like we're here forever. I'm so sorry, y'all. And for this, again, preset, I'm gonna do Weibo, and we're just gonna let it load. And again, like I said, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, my skin looks orange. What am I gonna do? Go to color, go to custom, try out the different white balance. You're like, a shot, you do auto, and you do custom. They're kind of all similar. So you're like, okay, cool. That's not the vibe. You go to crop and then 4x5 it. And then again, like I said, I like my photos to tell a story. And boom. Okay. This photo is so perfect. If I was to apply Weibo filter on it, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to color. I'm going to go to the right circle rainbow thing in the mix. I'm going to go to orange. And then the saturation is at 11. I'm going to decrease the saturation to look normal instead of looking like, she was dipped in Donald Trump Cheetos or something. Anyway, I'm going to decrease it a little bit like this. Okay, so now it looks somewhat natural. I'm going to go to color again. Remember, don't touch the saturation. I'm going to increase the vibrance just a little, just to make the photo pop again. And boom, that's all we did for this one. We decreased the orange in the color and we increased the vibrance. And that's it. And this photo looks phenomenal. But anyways, I'm going to put more of the photos that I edit. I'm going to edit all of these and maybe put it at the end of the maybe put it at the end of the video, because if I edit, like I said, if I edit every single one of these, we're going to be here forever. So the first one we edited was this one. It was before, after, before, after, before, after. And then we go back, and then the second one we edited was this. It was before, after, before, after. The third one we edited was this one. So just pretend like that's the before, after, okay? And then the, what do you call it? The last one that we edited was this one, the before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after. And that's honestly pretty much it. Guys, please, if you have any questions regarding this edit video, please post it down below. I will be more than glad to respond to you guys. I want to help. I want to make sure everyone understands this. And I hope you guys like this free preset. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. And please, all I ask in return is tag me on Instagram when you post your edits with hashtag Ral Onyes presets. Okay, that is RALONYES presets. Okay, I'm going to put it in the description box as well. And that's pretty much that for the editing portion of this. I hope Lightroom is starting to make sense to you guys and you guys don't feel overwhelmed. All right, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm just going to randomly pop a preset on this one because I'm going to edit this right now. See, that's just it. Popped without adjusting anything. Gorgeous. Before, after, before, after. But of course, I like to tweak to tailor it to the specific photo. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And thank you for downloading my presets. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye now.